Hi creative friends, this is Raya and thank you so much for being here. So my last video cut off abruptly, but thankfully I was right at the end. So I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. Now this is part 5, I believe, of breaking the rules, incorporating oil pastels in my first layers. Now I left this alone for a few days and now I can see this whole spread with fresh eyes. So the very first thing that stands out to me is that I am not happy with the background. I like the fact that it's neutral, but the tone just doesn't look right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself the question, what should I do with the background? Like, I really don't know. And then I'm going to leave it alone and just move on to other parts of the painting because that is what I do. Like usually, just say I'm not recording a video, I will ask myself a question when I don't know what to do. So I'm going to work on the faces, and I think I am, like in the beginning, I didn't know whether I wanted to keep things abstract, but I think that I want to, I think I want to work on the faces here and give it some features. So let me see here. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would let me know if this is tedious to watch. Like, are you guys interested in watching me make my faces, or would you rather that I do a time lapse of, you know, certain parts of my video? Because I really don't know. So if you could let me know, that would really help me out. And I'm sure that, you know, with different people, there are going to be different answers. But if you let me know, I can see what, like, most people would like. So I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick that up, but I'm using my Stabilo, and because this figure is halfway off the page, it's going to be a little difficult to draw the features. So I might just do eyes for this one. I don't know. Let me see here. Let's see. Like, it's going to be difficult for me to draw the other eye because, well, let me see here if I can. Yeah, it is going to be, okay, I'm just going to leave that alone for right now. And I am going to work over here. And this face is probably going to be like partially abstract because I have this blue part here and I want to keep it. And so it's going to be a somewhat abstract face, which I'm totally fine with. And maybe I'm going to like make the eyes closed. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use my marker here to just kind of like and I'm gonna try my white gel pens by Sakura. I never know if they're gonna work or not. It is really frustrating, but it is what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. See here. So I'm just using a marker and giving the features some definition. getting too fussy with the face, I am gonna just try to outline things a little bit. And okay, so you guys, I have so many of these Sakura pens here. It's ridiculous. And look, I mean, and I don't know, like, I mean, they're great. Like, okay, that one works now. That's great. That is so awesome. I'm so happy. Okay, and I'm trying to work really fast because I'm almost worried that they're gonna stop working. And I'm just gonna give the lips some definition here. Okay, so we're gonna put that away, and thankfully that did work. Now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna use my oil pastels again. I'm gonna use these, which is what I used for my first layer. They're my cheaper oil pastels, but I'm also gonna use Sennelier. So what I'm gonna do is just combine the two grades. So the first thing I need is a yellow, I'm thinking, because I just wanna add some, definition here. So I'm just gonna kind of and this is a Sennelier, and I'm just mixing it with the cheaper grade here. And now I'm gonna use my fingers, and I'm just gonna kind of smush it all in here. And so when I close this book up, some of this will transfer onto this side, and I really don't care about that. But if you do, and if you are working in this way and you care about, your stuff transferring onto the next page, you can use a fixative, or you can use Mod Podge to seal it. And Mod Podge is archival. Or you can use like a varnish, like a spray varnish or a liquid varnish. And so I'm sorry, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if there is a spray varnish. I know there's a spray fixative, but I don't know if there's a spray varnish. The varnish might just be liquid and you have to apply it with a brush. And I'm sorry, but I don't use fixatives or varnishes, so I don't know a lot about that. So I'm not sure if varnish comes in a spray. Now I do have a yellow Sennelier, and I'm just gonna kind of use it over here. And again, just bringing some of that yellow in here, and the white. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I want to and I need a blue here, and I'm just gonna kind of use the oil pastels over there. So these are just the finishing touches here. And let me see. I love these colors. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of try to lay some oil pastels here. I want to give it some like dimension. Just a little bit of variation here. And I'm gonna use this just to make some marks, you know, for interest. Like, let me see, and I'm gonna bring it in here. So I like to repeat things 3 times just to keep the eye moving. So I'm just gonna kind of go like so. And I talk a lot about beginner's mind, and, you know, especially in my first layers, but, you know, beginner's mind follows me through into all my layers. It's most important in my first layers, and then my middle layers, you know, it's a lot about making decisions and like, what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to keep? Blah, blah, blah. But then in my last layers, I try to go back to beginner's mind again, because I don't want to know how things are going to turn out. I mentioned this before, is that when I first started painting, and for the longest time, I planned everything out so meticulously, and so I did know how things were going to turn out because everything was pre-planned, and I hated it. You know, everything was so stilted and stiff, and it had no life, it had no movement, it had no flow. And so when it comes to my end layers, I want to try to bring back some of that beginner's mind again. So I'm going to put some oil pastels over here. I think, let me see here. Okay, I think I'm gonna, I'm not liking that pink over there. This is a pinky purple, so I'm just gonna, and let me see if I can repeat this somewhere else. So I'm gonna come back to the background now, and what I think is, I am feeling that I want to go darker on the background, because I do need a neutral, but I'm not happy with this particular neutral. So I am going to go with my ink chalk paint, and I'm just going to use it right out of the bottle. So it's going to be like a black, black, black. And I think that is really going to transform this spread. And then maybe when it's completely dry, I can come back in and maybe add some text or use my Posca marker, but I don't know. I might just leave it just like this. Oh yeah, I'm really kind of feeling that much more. And see, well, I don't know if the camera can pick up on that, but the oil pastel is resisting the chalk paint over there, and so it's just making this really interesting kind of a line, and I'm really loving that. So I tend to look at all the little things that could happen with oil pastel. I look at that as a great addition to my page, rather than, you know, the fact that it is a negative, I guess. And so I am really loving this black. It's really making the figures pop. It's picking up on the black over here and over here. and over there. So yeah, I think the black is a much better choice. And I think one coat should do it. I don't even think I need to add 2 coats. Okay, now I am really, really loving that so much more. And I'm just going to bring some of that black into here and into there, and just kind of keep my eye moving around. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this has inspired you to use oil pastels in new, innovative, experimental ways. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.